Hello everyone. The title of my keynote is in Polish, but I was asked to do it in English. So a quick translation: 8 years of CD action. How the old school print media is handling in the times of the technological progress. So I hope that everyone who is Polish speaking knows what CD action is. And for those who are for the foreign folks, as previously mentioned, CD Action is a video game magazine. This is the issue from June, and yeah, it got a huge cult following back in the days. And I wanted to take you on a short trip through those 28 years. And how the technology changed that either supported us or was against us, and the times that we were great and the times that we are now trying to reinvent ourselves and still be a great gaming medium. Let's get back to the 90s. It was a very fun times for many of us. I guess that most of you from the look of your faces, no remember them well. Well, we are all old. So it was the times when we got the first computers, but our friends got first computers, and we were coming to their homes to enjoy some new media. Actually, well, in Poland, not everyone was so lucky to get either a computer or a console, but I think it was the time when the pop culture was so big into things like animated movies and video games that we were reading those magazines even if we didn't have a computer, because it was so interesting world, and it was our access to the Western culture, to all those things that we are dreaming about. And so people were buying all those magazines. It's magazines, not newspaper. Like Gambler's Secret Service, there was also Świat Gier Komputerowych, and that was also CD Action, which was born in 1996, April the 1st. No fools. And well, from the beginning, the thing that was a huge advantage for the video game magazine was knowledge and community. They were building community because people didn't have access to internet, and even if they did, there was no suitable possibility to connect with each other, so people were writing letters to video games magazines, and they were giving their addresses. Hey, please, if you like this game, write to me. Actually, we've got something like this still now. It's called Action Redaction, and it's redacted by our famous guys called Smuggler. And we are still, thankfully, receiving a lot of letters. So yeah, people were buying magazines to get knowledge and to to be a part of the community. And then in the late 90s, well, more and more people were getting their computers. Still, internet was a very rare thing. And so it was very fine to read about video games, but it was better to play them. But if you want to play them, you have to own them, or, I don't know, borrow or rent. So there were two main sources of video games. The first was a video game shop. It was still a rarity back then, and it was mostly in the biggest city. And the most common place for buying video games was a bazaar, when you could get all those fantastic pirate versions with Polish, Russian translation and dubbing. It was spectacular. But still, it wasn't accessible for everyone. Here are distributed some numbers of CD Action. We will give you each of you CD Action after the presentation. So yeah, you have to either go to the shop or to the bazaar. But it was always a question if you are living in a big city or in a small city or in a village. So, well, the smaller the city, the harder was to get the access to the video games. Actually, now I remember that I was talking with the CEO of Wargaming, who is from Belarus, and he told me that he drove from Belarus to Krakow to buy, in '95 to buy original version of Windows for their office, because there was no place in Belarus where they can buy it. But well, if you are from the smaller city, you don't have access to either original or pirate video games. So here comes the Video Games Magazine, and our name CD Action came from the CD that was attached to each number, and it became a gateway to the video games for hundreds of people. And not only the full version of games, but also to demos of games and some multimedia like short clips and funny pictures. It was all unavailable anywhere, and it was the access to the Western world. And yeah, those were the times when the technology was definitely on our side, and when more and more people started to get computers in the early 2000s, the more and more started to buy video games magazines. They were cheap. They costed around 12, 13 złotych, and in this price you got the full version of video game. And of course, we didn't have like the newest video games. It was always the games that were released like 2, 3, or 5 years ago. But still, the average computer in Poland was quite weak. So people enjoyed having those old games because, well, they've got the computers that were able to run them. So yeah, the technology, the weak technology was still on our side. People got knowledge, got community, and video games. In the early 2000s, the things were very slightly started to change because more and more people got access to the fast bandwidth with internet. I hope you all remember Neostrada, which was a fast access to internet for many people, not only in big cities but also in the smaller parts of Poland. And yeah, it allowed people to chat, to get a little bit of a knowledge, but still printed media was a king. We've got not only full versions of video games, but we've got access to the new games so we can review them. We've got access to some foreign presentations. We've got exclusive materials, like in this month CD Action got something special on the cover and special article inside that other media doesn't. So yeah, it was still the time of the power of the printed media, but of course everything was about to change. First a little bit and then quite more. In the peak time of CD Action, our volume was around 200,000, which was absolutely huge, and now we can believe that so many people in Poland each month were buying CD Action. But of course, the more people had internet, the more people started to look things up here, not in the video game magazine. So by the year 2010, the printed media were no longer a primary source of knowledge. It was news portals like Gry Online or Gram.pl. People were buying printed media mostly for the things that were added to them. So the two biggest titles, CD Action and Play, I was actually working in Play around 2010. They were fighting who is having better full versions of video games each month. And well, the better the game was, the higher was the volume of the sales. And we have changed CD for the DVD and then double DVD because the games were getting bigger, and still it was a problem to well, get the game digitally. Either we are talking about buying or downloading pirate versions. We've got limits on the bandwidth. We couldn't download, like, I don't know, 10 or 20 gigabytes of media, so it was still better and cheaper to buy a video game magazine and get the full version. And still, we've got the huge community. CD Action got also the website and the internet board, and other sites also got their social media. So it was still quite big. But everything started to change very visibly when the digital world became bigger and more accessible. We've got faster bandwidth. We started to think about buying digital versions of game, because back in the days, everybody wanted to have this big box with all the stuff inside. And then when we became a bit older, we didn't have space for it, and it was well, easier to download the game, and it started to be possible with the faster internet connection. Plus, around 2010, 2012, there was another change that was at the beginning very insignificant, the rise of the indie gaming. The small video games that were made by very small teams, or sometimes it was made even solo. And there was a site, I think you all know them, it's called Humble Bundle, and it's a video game marketplace that started by saying selling game bundles, like few games in a one bundle. You pay $5 or $10 and get all those games, sometimes even $1, plus some of the money was going to charity, so it became a movement. I remember well when sometimes people were from all over the world paying in total like $10 million for a game. And so everybody started to notice that things are changing, that you can buy a cheap game from the internet and you can download it, you can like have it in your internet library, so maybe you don't have to buy a video game magazine. But still, we've got many contacts, we've got sometimes AAA titles from the past as the full games, and we still got community. However, the technology was, well, running, and it was harder and harder to beat it. And after 2010, there was also another change in Poland. Like in the 90s and in the zeros, most people have PCs, and we were all playing PC games. But then in the period of around 2010, more and more people were buying consoles. And then with the newer generation, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, we also get older. We didn't want to spend like 6,000 zloty on exclusive PC, rather than 2,000 on Xbox or PS4. So also we didn't have a chance to get to those people because there never was a full version of game for console that was attached to the CD Action magazine. So we got the lowering number of people in the community, and more people that were started to buy things digitally. And then we come to the point when, well, you don't have to buy games. You can get them for free, and I don't mean from the Pirate Bay. You can get free games like Fortnite. You can get free games each Thursday on Epic Game Store. Either the little one or either the GTA 5, which was given for free a few years ago. And that was the point when we have decided that we no longer can give full versions of the video games. And this is the thing that people are still coping with. Like, we've got always those comments about, hey, where are the video games? Will you ever give them again? One time we've got even email from the guy who bought, I don't know, it was probably this magazine, and he wrote the email. It was wrote in a very rubbish manner. Hey, where are the games? like, what do you mean? So he answered something, it was still not clear, but we thought that he meant, where is Hades 2? Like, he bought the magazine, but there is no game inside. So yeah, people are very attached to those free games, but it was impossible to compete with all the digital markets. So we are in the point where the technology beat us in the speed of information. Everybody got everything fast from the internet pages. There are hundreds of reviews online, and there is Metacritic that shows reviews from the other countries. So what was the reason to buy a poor old CD Action? Where one of the most important things was the community that was created around CD Action, and this is the thing that we are still trying to keep alive, and that's why we have organized our own gaming fair, CD Action Expo, in 2023. This year we've got also another expo in Łódź, and we are doing it in 2025. You are all, of course, invited, and this is the place where the community can meet, when they can meet with the all CD Action crew. And yeah, this is also the second important thing that is keeping us alive, and I hope it will be the quality. Of course, it's not like that we've got the best taste in the internet, and that all our reviews, all our notes are the best. We all do mistakes, but we are keeping a lot of effort to keep this quality really high. Each text that comes to every CD Action is, before it is printed, we are reading, there are at least 3 people that are reading it and trying to correct, either grammatically or trying to straighten up the facts, because everybody makes mistakes, everybody can mix up date. And so we've got a huge team that's putting a lot of effort to keep this quality. And the interesting thing is the point named information, because back then we were gathering a lot of information from the internet, and now it's harder and harder to get a very complex knowledge from the web. I remember around 2000s that I can Google almost anything, and there were expert blogs popping out, and there were many pages with interesting articles. And now SEO has devoured everything. So when you are typing, for example, Heroes of Might and Magic 3, it's well, very probably that various news and like generic informations will pop out, but you will never dig to the very interesting articles. And even on like sites like Wikipedia, if there isn't anyone who will try to put informations them, well, the Wikipedia site of Heroes of Might and Magic will be very weak. So we thought that, hey, we are doing video games magazines, we are doing this, our main issue, which is mostly about gaming reviews and articles. Let's make a special issue about solely about only one gaming series. And last year we have done our own championship in Heroes of Might and Magic 3. And after that, we come up with community and created this, which is called CD Action Heroes of Might and Magic. And it's very complex magazine about every part of Heroes of Might and Magic saga and other games in the Might and Magic lore. We have done some interviews. We have done some guides. We have done some digging in the things that community is doing, And well, maybe speaking about Heroes of Might and Magic, we've got 2 old school sites that gather a lot of informations. But if we are getting to other topics like Souls-like games, Dark Souls, Sekiro, Bloodborne, there is no place that you can get a lot of knowledge, and there is no place that you can like walk in and get tons of articles. You have to spend a lot of time searching for them. So we thought we'll gather the best authors from CD Action and outside CD Actions and make those special issues. So we have done Heroes of Might and Magic, Souls-like, and the best Polish game ever called Gothic. Obviously, it's German, and this is the path we want to sustain. We will be doing soon a very special issue about Counter-Strike. We have plans for a special issue about Witcher and Grand Theft Auto. And well, in the times when the print media were declared dead, I think we are doing pretty well. And we've got a lot of ideas to how we can keep alive. And we've got, what's most important, still a big community that are supporting our magazines and that are giving us the idea what we can do next and to keep alive. So, yeah, that's it. I'm sorry if it was a little messy. I'm not an English speaker on a daily basis. We've got CD Actions for you all guys, so I think now we will all start to like check what's inside. So maybe after the final presentation you can get some issues from stairs. Questions?
What's your volume now? You mentioned 20,000.
It's 30,000 of the main issue, and we've got also, I forgot to bring it, Retro magazine, which features article from Chris. And it's 15,000. And speaking about the special issue, we are trying to estimate each time what will be the best one. With this one, we started with 5,000, but it was immediately sold out, so we've got to do 2 new reprints. And well, I hope people will like reading again and buy more and more. Yes?
All right, so you mentioned that instead of going broad and having the fresh news, you prefer to go deep into the topics, which means that you can get some quality material.
Yes.
Will this strategy, in your opinion, work 5 years from now? Like, will you bet on this strategy for 2029?
I hope. There are still many interesting topics. We are scouting what people would like to read and what they don't. Last we thought about doing a special issue about racing games, like from the very early days, from the 80s through all the Need for Speed series and all the simulator games. But when we were discussing in our on our Discord, it very quickly turned out that people are not so keen on this idea. Plus, Cormac, one of our veterans, who is now the editor-in-chief of the printed CD Action, told us that every time we've got cars on the cover of CD Action, the sales were very, very low. So we can't, we don't know why, because sometimes the covers were really nice, but well, I guess somehow people don't, when they see cars, they don't think about video games. And we are also thinking about making high quality exclusive albums, like with also some interesting articles, but mostly with the high quality artworks and some in-depth look in the games. Our first will be about Counter-Strike, which is having 25th anniversary this year, and it's a huge story, like from the very early days of internet cafes in Poland through the early victories of Golden 5 and all those things up to Counter-Strike 2. And we are having some interesting talks about other stuff. I can say about it right now, but I hope that in 5 years we will change a little bit into a publishing house that is not only issuing CD Action but also many other things, possibly not only about video games.
Did you start to cover the consoles, or you keep to the, let's say, master race?
As I said, there was a point in our video gaming history when people started to buy video games consoles, like mostly because, well, other games were available at consoles. So yeah, I think it's like 15 years since we are also doing consoles, and now we are not like checking if it's PC or console. When a game is good, we are just covering it. There was some question from the back.
Yeah, from your perspective, in terms of quality of content and the market, because nowadays everyone could be a journalist who is describing some games. From your perspective, where are people going? To the fact-checked sources, or they want to discover some kind of, let's say, not paper, but because paper costs always costs something, but in the digital sources.
Well, I think that the word infotainment that doesn't come from nowhere. We are all a bit of slaves to the technology and the things that are popping out in our phones and the things we are seeing on social media or our friends are sending us, and sometimes these are short news. Like back in the 90s, short news weren't most important. Most important were reviews and some community stuff or some journalists that were talking with each other. And now the most important thing, speaking about what people are like clicking in the internet, is a very fast news. So it's impossible to like compete in quality with those fast short news. But I think that yeah, it will be changing a bit. That people will see that not everything you got in internet is. I don't want to say it isn't great, but that you want something more. Yeah, like we are all listening to music from, I don't know, smartphone, and we are having cheap earbuds. But then everybody realized, hey, we've got money, we want some more, we want something better. We are paying 1,000 zlotys for high quality headphones. So I guess it will be the same with media, not to the point like like the volume of CD Action 20 years ago, but I think more and more people will recognize the quality journalism.
Do you have electronic version of your magazines?
The digital one, yeah. Well, we've got the digital version of the main CD Action issue and retro, and for now we decided that we don't want to have the digital issues of this because the content here is, I would say, so exclusive. I think that it will, if we will send the PDF version to the shop, it will very quickly start to like circle around internet. So people won't buy those magazines, and we will not be able to make second one. So this one we wanted to keep only in print, also because we are very proud of how it is looking, and the main issue will be always available also in digital.
Do you have any info about demographics? Because that's interesting. Like maybe there are still people who have nostalgia even back when they move to the older age, they won't still be using the CD action?
We don't have any hard data. We have like data from that we are capturing from the various parts of the internet, or when we are meeting with the fans on our expo, or last time on the festival Komiksu in Łódź. And well, the demographics definitely changed to to a little bit older people, but I guess it's okay. So the people in our age still can have the media that is okay for them, that is not like cringe and is not targeted for a very young audience.
It's like with Ruby, no?
Yeah.
Same thing.
We have the same issue.
I think we are all target demographic here.
Yes.
That was my question about the demographic.
Okay.
Because I just got the impression that you cannot compete in this factor with YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah.
And I don't think this 40 pages around. It's okay.
40?
I don't know how many pages are.
Actually, this one is 130,
Okay.
and the main issue 160.
Yeah, is demographic for teenagers, current teenagers. Most of them obviously are.
I guess, yeah, it's all for the people like 25 or 30 plus, but I can tell two anecdotes from the both sides of this matter. The first thing is that young people came to our booth at PLRUG, which is the largest like geek culture fair in Poland. I don't know how many, 50,000 people are coming each year. And some young people came in and they like take the magazine, and later one asked me how much does this book cost, and other one called it a catalog. And so it's like with the MC tapes, you've got to you need to teach young people what a magazine is. But on the other hand, there was some few more like cool events, like the young people were asking about, I don't know, the special issue. Will we do a special issue about Witcher, because they want to read, and we will do in the future. And one young guy, I think about 10, came for Heroes of Might and Magic because he wanted to buy it for his dad, and it was very touching. Any other question? One from the back. Hi.
Did you have the additional content on the CDs with each number of
Yes, we did. We've got various zines, and sometimes they were connected in with CD Action, and sometimes they were just zines that people wanted to publish. And well, when somebody bought CD Action, you've got like 100,000 people that is reading your zine.
How did you solve the problem when CD drives became disappearing?
Well, first they turned to DVD drives, so we started to issue a DVD, and then when we solved the problem that we ceased to give any full games. Well, first of all, firstly we started to add simply the codes for the game, so you like have some kind of cardboard inside with the code. And well, now there are no games, so problem solved.
So, which issue was the last one with the physical media?
It's a hard question. I'm not prepared for this one. I'm only 3 years in CD Action. Maybe Lydia or Chris can help me. Ostatni numer z płytą. 2000. Tak. Z płytą 16, 2016, around 2016.
Okay, more question on the barbecue. Because